Corner talk with Sam Hughes right here, and we're gonna change it to coffee talk because it's like 8:30 in the morning for you. I drink coffee at any time of the day, so I wanted to ask you about that. How do you drink your coffee, first of all? I saw you have a coffee sponsor now.
Yes, I do. He's awesome. Engine Company coffee, really, really tasty. But I usually do just the drip, and then I don't like Starbucks. I'll just throw that out there. But I do like their cold foam. So I've kind of stolen the cold foam idea, and then I
Oh, man.
whip my own cream at the house, and then I'll just put like cinnamon or anything like that on it. So it'll be all black coffee and then a layer of the cold foam and then a little dusting of cinnamon. So not too fancy, but just a little cream is good.
Yeah, no. Starbucks is like good for their fancy stuff. Nobody really goes to it for the coffee. We're kind of
Exactly. How
like
do you drink your
connoisseurs.
coffee?
Well, I mean, I have them like as straight up black espresso.
Okay.
Like I like it here like that. But like if I get it outside, like I love the cappuccinos and how creative they get with like those. Yeah.
Yep.
I wasn't too I didn't really hate the diner coffee, honestly. Like certain diners in America were like,
It
it has its thing. If you
yeah,
add the vanilla thing.
they're not terrible, but yeah, sometimes you can get a little sludgy. Uh
Yeah.
but you know.
So now you're going to be opening UFC 287, which is your first numbered event, first arena event for UFC. So what was your reaction when you heard that, you were going to fight in an arena?
Super excited. I was actually all over the place. So I was obviously like brought in a COVID fighter. So yeah, all my fights have been at the Apex. Even the first pay-per-view that I was on, but it didn't really feel like one because I was still in the small cage at the Apex. But so to open up at 287, super exciting. It being in Miami, my brother is actually in medical school in Miami, so it's like
Oh, nice.
perfect that he's already there. Whenever I told him that, he freaked out, and then whenever I told all my family, they were like, "Okay, well, we're getting flights right now." So that was pretty cool. But I like Miami a lot. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I love hot weather, so it's going to be even better. And then we can go celebrate, have time on the beach, and just enjoy it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Are you already making a list of foods you're gonna eat, things you're gonna try, the food trucks in Miami type thing?
Yes, actually, my brother has been sending me restaurants. He's like, "Hey, we got to go here after your fight. We got to go here," because he knows all the good spots. But for me, I'm like secretly looking up like best cookies in Miami, best cakes in Miami. Like, so I'm
Hey.
gonna be a total fat kid afterwards, and then just eat everything.
This is like there was a fighter I interviewed recently that said that, and I noticed a tendency of like female athletes being having more of a sweet tooth after fighting, and men are usually the ones that want like pizzas, burgers, and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
But so now you are coming off. So you had like the 2 fight win streak you strung together in the UFC, right? And then
Mhm.
you had one setback recently, but it's like, how were your feelings after that fight? Because as I said, for me, it's funny to say, but for me, it was like one of your best performances, in a
Yeah.
loss. So it's like, how do you feel about that?
And it's really funny you say that, Nick, because a lot of people reach out to me after that fight and they're like, "Man, you look so good." It's just, I mean, you got taken down a couple times, and that's exactly why you lost that fight. So that was the major thing that I took away was, she couldn't hold me down on the ground, but she did have really good wrestling. And so that's something that I've been really working on, sitting on, and personally feeling offended if anybody's taking me down. So like, I don't think she's going to be able to take me down. I'm just going to be so defiant in this fight coming up. So that's something that I really took away. And I really didn't even consider, I mean, yeah, I consider it a loss because it goes in my record, but really I wasn't beat up or torn up about it. I was like, okay, I understand this is something that I need to work on, and let's just build on this and let's sit on it for however long until the UFC calls me again and then we get another fight. So that's something that I just took away. So jiu-jitsu, wrestling defense, and wrestling in general is something that I just was like, let's fucking do this thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the timing is really good. Getting this fight
I
in
think it
particular
is.
after that one.
Yep. I think so
Yeah.
too.
And maybe like the contract situation kind of like plays a role. I remember like the time when you used to beat yourself up about it was like when you were kind of like you felt your back was against the wall, but at least like now you've strung together some wins and everything. So yeah.
I feel a little bit safer, not safe, definitely not safe, but
Yeah.
safer. So yeah, this is, I think, my third fight on my second contract. So I still have two more. So that's one thing in the back of my mind too, is like I really want to have a really good performance this fight.
Hmm.
And then so hopefully that fourth fight on my second contract will be like a no big thing. So then I can sign a third contract. So it's just
Yeah.
things in the back of my mind. You never know. I mean, nothing's ever guaranteed with the UFC, so we'll see.
Um, this was also your first loss while at Fortis. I'm always curious, like, what's the team reaction after that fight, and how is that like different than it was in the past?
Yeah, actually super supportive. Everybody showed me so much love and they were saying, how great of a fight it was. And uh I mean, everybody reached out to me, like Ramiz, Damon, Uriah even. I mean, they were all like, hey, whatever you want to work on, let's sit down and work on it. Whatever you need, just let me know. So that was really cool, instead of like people, because I mean, people are always like, oh, you look so good, or you did this, you did that, but like nobody's actually being like, hey, if you need help from me in any aspect, like let me know. So Damon's obviously a really good wrestler. He coaches high school wrestling too.
Hmm.
So he reached out to me and he said, hey, if you want to do some classes and things like that, just let me know. So I did. I reached out to him. Ramiz is crazy good grappler. So yeah, I mean, it was nothing but love and nothing but support. Being at Fortis is like night and day, because everybody it's one big family. And everybody's trying to lift each other up instead of like stepping on each other to
Mm.
be the top dog.
Yeah,
That's
you see
that's
that.
the that's the big difference.
I was gonna say you see that a lot in bigger gyms. Once you switch to bigger gyms, there's a lot of pride in fighting for that name,
Yep.
and I'm pretty sure, and it sounds like that is something that you have now, and that all your teammates have as well. Like, hey, let's make sure none of our teammates ever lose again. You know?
Exactly. Because it's
Yeah.
a reflection on us as a family instead of like just one
Yeah.
single person.
Do you feel any pressure now, like fighting in the name of Fortis, basically, or has it fallen off at this point?
Yeah, so I did. My first couple fights, I really, really felt that pressure. And even it's safe, so funny because he just knows. Like I don't even have to say anything, and he just knows exactly what I'm thinking, which is terrifying. But it's like a dad, like a dad figure.
Yeah.
Because he's like, hey, I know what you're thinking. You're putting a whole lot of pressure on yourself and wanting to represent Fortis in a good way. But you need to knock that shit off, because he's like, all that it comes down to is like you. He was like, nobody else cares. you know I mean, they care how you like look and represent yourself, but like if you lose, nobody's going to be like, fuck you, Sam, you're not, like
Yeah.
nobody's like that. So he's like, you need to just take that away from like your thought process and just focus on you and focus on having a great performance. And so ever since we had that conversation, I've kind of just let it go, and moved on. And it's like now I'm excited to represent Fortis, and I like, wear that name proudly.
Yeah.
So it's a big like shift in thought process, for me. So but it's been great.
That's fantastic. Yeah, been listening to this podcast with this mindset coach as well recently. They were talking about particularly pertaining to fighters, like about approaching the fight from a level, from a place of excitement instead. Like, be excited to showcase every single aspect of your game at 15 seconds at a time, instead
Yep.
of, like, you know what I mean. And maybe that's how, like, you can showcase also how good Fortis is. Like, hey, 15 seconds at a time. Let's just have fun in there. It's like it all
Yeah,
comes down to having fun again. Yeah.
exactly.
And
And that's
yeah.
something that Safe said the other day, after sparring. He was like, finally, I see you actually like having fun in training and stuff like that. And he was
Mm,
like, especially in this camp, he was like, in the camp leading up to Pereira fight, he was like, I could tell how tense you were and how much pressure you put on yourself. But he was like, this whole camp, I've been seeing you just like having so much fun and like you feel relaxed. And he was like, you're so much more creative whenever you're relaxed and having fun. So he's like, keep that shit up. Don't be weird. Like coming into fight week, he was like, just keep this thing going. I was like, okay.
yeah. Don't change into this, like, oh, I'm so excited to fight. Like, it changes
Yeah,
changes your whole demeanor and everything, and people are like, who is this person?
it definitely does.
Yeah. And it's like, so before that last fight, you had the 2 fight winning streak, as I said, and I'm sure that gave you a lot of confidence, right?
Yep.
How do you like tap back into that confidence now?
Yeah, so I was just reading this thing and it's like confidence isn't defined by wins or losses. It's actually like how you see yourself going forward. So yeah, you have to have some failures and setbacks to have success. So for me, it's like I'm just keeping this ball rolling, and it's not necessarily like me being set back. It's like propelling me forward in every aspect. My failures, my wins. So this whole idea of confidence is just like, for me, it's just a building snowball. And so I do feel like I have a lot of momentum coming behind me. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot in this past year that I've been at, well, a little over a year now that I've been at Fortis, than I have like, man, in my whole fight career. I mean, this has been like such a learning and growth mindset, and just growth overall as like being a better person. So for me, that's kind of how I'm going into this. I'm just like, you know what, let's just have fun. Like, you get to do like what 600 people get to do in the world. So it's like, have fucking fun, you know, like have some fun and just like be present over everything.
Present, yeah. You get to do some cool shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't lie.
Yeah.
I won't lie.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I always say what separates, I think, like the extraordinary from the ordinary is like the fact that you come out from the other side, having stumbled and breaking through those hardships and coming out better on the other side is the one that separates them, you know?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. And do you practice gratitude at all? Is that like something that
I do actually. My
I
mom was
sense it?
big
I
on
sense
that.
it.
Yep. So I mean, that's something like if I'm, you know, feeling tired, obviously it's maybe the end of the week and I've had like a lot of training sessions and you're just worn down, you're beat up, you're feeling like, man, should I really go in today? And it's like, okay, let's take a step back. Let's be like, why do you feel this way? And then how can we kind of change this mindset? So it's like, I don't have to go in. I get to go in. I get to do these things. So it's like, I'm grateful for, you know, every opportunity. I'm grateful for my health and, you know, injuries and everything else. And so it's like, yeah, gratitude is a big thing I practice. And then right after you're done, you're just, you have this like burst of energy and you're like, oh man, okay. And now I'm ready to go into the gym. So this is pretty cool.
And like, is that one of those discoveries? Because I was gonna ask also about what are there some like new discoveries about the fight game? Because now that you've been like fighting at the top promotion of the world for a while now, you know, what are some of those discoveries that have made you appreciate it even more? You
Oh
know?
man, that's a really good question. I feel like a lot of fighters put their opponents or other people in the top 15 like on this pedestal. And it's like, you know, any one of those like people at like the top 15 or even in the top 20 could change at any moment. So it's like you can't really put yourself on this like pedestal, because things can change in a moment's time. You know, freaky things happen in fights. And so I feel like a lot of people place their opponents like having like they're almost invincible, right? And you can't look at it like that. You're like, this is just another person. They have like their own insecurities. They're also terrified. They're also like worried about this, and this. So you just have to go into it and be like, all right, I'm just fighting another person that's been through similar instances and similar experiences. And I just have to go find my fight. So that's actually taken a lot of pressure off me. And then it's actually kind of made me focus a little bit more. So that's actually helped quite a bit to kind of take a step back and just be like, all those people. And it's kind of like public speaking too. It's like, okay, if you just look at everybody like they're just in their underwear, they're naked. It's like, oh, okay, this makes things a lot less pressure or whatever.
It's like I'm the one up here. I'm the one
Yeah.
that everyone's looking to as well. So you know, yeah. And at the same time, and tying this point into your opponent now, you are the one who's been tested, who's had the strength of schedule. I feel like so. I feel like it's up to her to make the statement. All the pressure is on her. She's the one that has to make her debut right now. Does that play into your mind at all as well?
Absolutely. I mean, you spoke the words for me. And also, she's in her hometown. So, you know, she's going to be in her crowd and that's a lot of pressure in itself. It's like, I have to look good. I mean, you saw it. in San Antonio. It's like that was a lot of pressure on a lot of those guys from San Antonio or like the Texas area, because they had all their friends and family there. So I think that puts a lot of pressure on her. So that's kind of something to think about as well. But yeah, I have had a tough ass road in the UFC, and I just feel like, this is another opponent. I'm not taking her lightly by any stretch of the imagination. I respect her ground game. I respect everything she's done as a martial artist, but this is kind of my time, and it's just like, this is just a stepping stone for me, to showcase like really truly who I am.
I got into the tape. She has like she's 6-0, and all of those were like first round finishes. Does that play into the game plan at all? Like wanting to extend the fight a little bit more?
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I personally, when I was looking at it, I was like, I wish there was more, because I want to see how her cardio is. How does she deal with adversity and being pushed? Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And so that's exactly that's kind of what I'm thinking too. It's like I want to like take her into the third or second and third rounds, like, because we don't know her cardio. I mean, I remember in the Estella fight, I think it was in the second round, and it was like the first minute and a half in the second round, and I saw her take that deep breath, and she was like, and I was like,
oh,
okay, I got you. You've not been doing cardio, so I'm gonna push this pace even more and really fuck your world up. So that's kind of what my mindset is right now. It's like, okay, yeah, we all know you can make it through the first round. Okay, like you're very, very good there, but how good are you in the second and even in the third? Are you gonna fade? Have you been, doing sprints? Have you been doing long cardio? It's like, I want to see that, and that's my wheelhouse. I mean, that.
yeah. And that was a huge momentum shift. Yeah, but this is where
Yeah.
I saw it. Like, I mean, like, you're a cardio machine. That's like, I mean, again, like one of your strongest weapons. I feel like the underrated weapon, which I recently had to deal with. I had like cardio issues in a spar with this young kid, and I was like, no, cardio let me down. It's humbling.
It is very humbling. You're like, oh shit, I'm tired. Now what do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Estella trains out of the same gym. I don't know if they're working on cardio there.
Yeah.
I'm
I don't know
not
either.
talking them down or anything, but like, so what are other elements that you see? How do you see the fight going? I guess I want to ask.
Yeah. So
You said that because I've heard you. Sorry, I've heard you speak about you want to stop her.
Yep, I definitely
Yeah.
do. I want a stoppage. And if that happens in the second, great. But if I know it's going to definitely happen in the third, if she makes it that long, I have a lot of tools in my tool belt, and I'm going to be creative, and I'm going to be super relaxed. So that's my biggest thing, is I'm just going to get her to that point and start pulling out those mistakes, and because she's going to be tired. I know she's going to be tired. So I know she's going to make some mistakes, and I'm going to capitalize on those.
And adrenaline dumps, a real thing.
And adrenaline dumps, yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's a lot of pressure as well, being in front of all those eyes. And I don't know if she's ever done that before. I mean, I know jiu-jitsu competitions are there's a lot of eyes in the arena, but there's also a lot of mats too. So it's like not everybody's looking at your specific rolling or grappling or whatever. So it's so we'll see how she handles that pressure, but I'm fully capable of it, and I've been in there before multiple times, so I'm excited.
Great. And how's life changed for you outside of fighting as well over the last, like, since the last fight?
It's been good. It's been really good. Something that I've been like working on is my strength and conditioning. So obviously I haven't put like all my stock into cardio, but strength conditioning has been a big one. And actually my boyfriend now, he's a strength conditioning coach. So I've just been working with him, and he's been busting my ass. So that's been really good, and I feel like a huge game changer for me. And I already see it because I had to cut from, a heavier weight, and I was already super lean at that weight. So now it's just like, man, this is going to be really exciting. I feel super strong. I feel very fast. So life feels a little bit more balanced, but not in like a bad way. It's like, I haven't taken away from my concentration of fighting by any stretch of the imagination. If anything, I've like added to it and created like more of a circle that has like been supporting me and lifting me up. So that's been really cool. So like we bond over, going to the gym and working out and trying to eat healthy.
Yeah. So how is it like separating coach from boyfriend? You know?
In the beginning it was very hard because we got in a couple fights
Yeah.
and we would like just yell at each other and it's like, motherfucker, you're like my boyfriend right now. Don't be coach because like I can't do that right now. And then he would start laughing and then we like get back to normal. But yeah, it was kind of like a little wiggle period or grace period where we had to like feel each other out as far as that goes. But it's been fun. It's been great. I mean, he's like the biggest supporter and loves everything and he watches like all the fights with me. And it's not even like I have to like convince him. He's like, hey, do you want to watch the fights? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So that's really cool. Yeah.
Nice. Love it. Love it. Love it. So that just adds into the balance of life and the circles you surround yourself with. Everyone is like sort of like focused on the same goals and, you know, investing in you when it's your time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So before I go to the fan questions, I want to get your prediction on like the top 3 fights of this event as well. Because these are like, cool. There's some pretty unpredictable fights over here. What was it? Wait, the fight card. What was the one before? Oh yeah, there was Rob Font, Adrian Yanez first. Crazy strikers matchup, first of all.
Yep.
What do you think's gonna happen?
You know, Adrian Yanez is like a monster. I think he's gonna take it.
Yeah, it was,
and he's not the favorite either. He's the underdog, right?
Oh, he's the underdog? Okay, hold on. I gotta pull this up. I gotta pull this up for a second. But it would make sense honestly because like Rob has fought the top guys and like the title holders and
yep.
Oh no, he's the favorite. He's the favorite.
Oh, he's the favorite. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I still stand by that then.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so here's one where I'm actually gonna go with the underdog, and this is one of the bigger underdogs on the card: Gilbert Burns or Jorge Masvidal.
Oh, Gilbert for sure.
You're taking Gilbert. That's the huge favorite. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. What do you think?
How do you think? Man, I really think Jorge has worked on his. I don't think like he's dealt with the best of wrestlers. He's dealt with like Usman's wrestling as well, which he got up from a couple of times. The Colby fight, I agree there was way too much emotion involved and stuff like that. But even there, he did well and he clipped him like a few times. I don't think Gilbert has the chin for it. If it does get standing a little bit more, do you think he grinds him out?
Yeah, I think Gilbert wrestles him. I think he is just overwhelmingly like just a wet blanket and just wrestles him, makes him dog tired, and then it's hard for him to throw.
Even if you believe Jorge has been only working wrestling this whole time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
he works with Bo Nickel.
That's true. That's true.
It's so interesting. Well, if you see the odds, maybe from a like fight prediction perspective, then I would have to go with Gilbert, and then from a betting perspective, you have to go with Jorge because it's almost 5-1. Okay, almost 5-1, man.
That's fair.
All right, fair enough. And then the main events: Alex Pereira, Izzy Adesanya.
I think Izzy's gonna take back his belt. I really do. Really? I think he's because
4th time's the charm.
Yeah, right. I think he's just going to be smarter. And not that he wasn't smart in his first game plan, because he almost put Alex out in the first round.
Yeah, and he was up 3-1.
Yeah, and then he's just been sitting on his wrestling, and he's been wrestling like crazy. So I think he's probably going to have a good mix. And again, like, I just don't think Alex needs to be at that weight class. I think he needs to go up to 205 because he's huge. I mean, and that's draining. You saw it in his last fight. He was exhausted because of that massive weight cut. So I think Alex is good. Yeah, I think he's fucking amazing. But I think that's his kryptonite is that weight cut.
Yeah, and also, I mean, playing devil's advocate kind of, Izzy wrestled a bit that fight, and he gassed out more than he ever did, I feel like, also because of that. Maybe do you think he has to get a finish, or do you think if it gets extended, like, he'll get tired again if he starts implementing a wrestling game plan?
Well, if he's been wrestling like he has, and like he says he has, I think that cardio is going to jump up because wrestling cardio is different than just cardio. There's a big difference in kickboxing cardio versus wrestling cardio, in my opinion. So, if he's been sitting on that for the past, what's it been? Like half a year, something like that?
No, I was in Vegas then, so it would have been October. Probably,
okay.
Yeah, almost half a year, yeah.
Yeah, okay. yeah, so I think that his gas tank might go up. I'm not sure, but then but Alex is bigger, and so like trying to grapple like a heavy, strong dude is, I don't know. We'll see, but I do
It's
think
so
Izzy's
weird.
gonna take
This is the
it.
weirdest matchup for me ever because
I know.
in most of these fights, like this is the fourth time they're fighting, like in different disciplines. Sure, Alex has always won, but he's always been losing before the win comes.
Yep.
So that's what makes it tricky. It's like he's losing, but he's always finding that finish. So
Yep.
that's where I can't even make a prediction on this one. I'll probably go like Pereira again, just because like he just has his number. I feel like, but
Yeah.
I agree. He will be losing it until he does it again. I feel like it's gonna go the same way. That's just the way he does it.
Maybe
Yeah.
you're right. Maybe that's his whole game plan.
Yeah. It's just like he needs his back against the wall to sort of
Yeah,
pull it off.
there's a lot of fighters like that. So I don't.
Yeah,
Maybe.
with that fire in him, like
Yep.
Leon. Yeah. Oh yeah. Where's the? All right. Let me get into these fan questions. Okay, I had to pull off the odds open here. Just a couple. I'll do a couple. First one is from my friend Drop Bear MMA, who you should follow right now.
Okay.
She just became double champ and is going for triple champ in Australia.
Oh hell yeah! Okay, I'll follow
Yeah,
her.
yeah. So she always likes to ask, "What was your favorite fight and why?"
Um, my favorite fight so far has been the Estella fight. Because I was down in the first round. And also it was my first fight with Fortis. So I felt like I had a lot of pressure down the first round. I think one judge actually gave her a 10-8 round. So
Really?
I mean,
I forgot. Yeah.
yeah, I know. And I was like, a 10-8, like I didn't think it was that bad, but like I mean, I knew I dropped that first round. But anyway,
Because it stayed standing, right? The first round as well. I don't remember it going to the
yeah,
ground.
it was all
That doesn't.
standing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the last two were yeah, they went to the ground. But anyway, and I didn't even get like clipped like hard, or like my knees didn't touch the ground or anything like that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I knew I lost that first round. And that was the first fight with Fortis. So it's like I kind of had a lot to prove. And there was like a big moment where I had this like gut check where it's like, all right, are you gonna be a loser, or are you gonna like fucking man up and actually get this shit done? So that's like the conversation that I had with myself, and it taught me a lot about myself and taught me a lot like what I'm capable of when the chips are down and your back's against the wall and you're fighting for a brand new team, and this is the team that has supported you for months and kind of brought you out of a really dark place. So for me, that was by far my favorite fight.
So is it the deepest you ever had to dig, you think?
Yeah.
Well, it's good. Like I know a lot of people that are happy because we all like had money on you then. And we knew though, like the funny thing is that like everyone kind of like, maybe because it's from the interviews that we do, they're like, even after the first round, we're like, yeah, just hold on, because like Stella's about to gas out and then she's gonna pick her apart. So everyone sort of had that idea, so nobody was even worried after that first one.
Okay, good.
Which is like, I guess you do invoke a lot of confidence in people.
Good.
Ash Betts _, says, do you like London? Do you fancy coming over to London one day?
Oh yeah, I know Ash. Okay, cool. Yeah, I definitely. I've never been to London. I've just, seen pictures and videos and things like that. But I definitely want to go to Europe. I mean, you've got to be my tour guide because I need to go to Amsterdam too. So yeah, it gives me a good excuse to go over there. Actually, Macy and Hannah are wanting to get married in Europe, I think next year.
Man.
Yeah.
You know where ish?
I think like Italy. They were talking about like Italy, like the Mediterranean area. But they haven't like nailed down a certain point. So definitely I'm gonna reach out to you. Because I'm gonna invite my boyfriend and then we can all go like just hop around and drink and have fun. So yeah. But definitely
if there's any single female fighters from Fortis MMA, I am down.
I'll bring them.
Let's do it. Yeah. I have a lot of experience. I have some experience dating female fighters, so I know how to deal with all the weight cutting stuff, and I understand the industry. Here's my profile.
Perfect. I'll be matchmaker for you, Nick.
Perfect. Oh, this is interesting. Here, San Fran Giant fan. This is another coach I know in San Diego. What do you think about the way women are promoted in MMA versus men? Have you ever been promoted in a way you found sexist by a promotion in the past? Do you think it's gotten better during the time you've been fighting?
I love this question so much because it is such a like a not a trigger, but like a something that I really am like super passionate about because I hate the way women are promoted. It's like I feel like only if you have a bunch of followers because you show your ass, then you're put on this pedestal and you're lifted up, and the promoters are like, oh, we've got this great girl and she needs to be like whatever. And so like the OnlyFans shit, the booty pics, it's like I feel like those girls get first jump on easy matchups and being promoted heavily, versus like I've always wanted to be looked at as for my ability as an athlete and a martial artist. That's where I like get a lot of pride and respect out of myself, because I'm like, this is the only way that I want to be looked at. If I have to resort to like ass pictures and like taking pictures on the beach with, you know, a thong bikini, it's like I still wear thong bikinis, but I'm not putting that shit on like social media.
You put it in your like close friend stories.
Yeah, exactly. But that's like something that I really do truly hate, because it's like these girls should be looked at as athletes, not just because they have a nice ass or nice tits or whatever. So
I mean, at the end of the day, sorry, continue.
No, that was all I had.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying like at the end of the day, like once you get to the top, like they'll always fall off, like because then it's like skill that speaks always. But you feel like you feel like to get your foot in the door and like get matched up early on, like it's a bit of a problem because like the pretty girls that post those kinds of things are the ones that get a head start. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, you see it on you know, the promotions like under the UFC, and it's like those girls, they kind of build up from either from Brazil or whatever. But that's kind of like the their go-to, I guess. So,
yeah. It's and like so I talked to this person a lot about this about what I hate what the overplayed thing, which where a lot of regional promotions especially promote the fight as like, oh look, she's so beautiful but also a killer, you know, that kind of thing. I'm like, this is so overplayed, like come on, like it's getting annoying.
Yeah, because none of the guys are like, oh, he's so hot but also he can fight. It's like no, they never say that ever.
Like, oh, he could be a model, why doesn't he?
God, yes. I'm like, no, they always talk about the guy, how skilled he is, how long he's been in this particular martial art, in whatever of their skill set he has. So it's like, why can't we talk about women in the same light? So yeah, that's my little soapbox. But I'm glad that he asked that question, because
it's a she as well. It's a female coach. Yeah. No,
I love that question.
Last one, JC Greg _ which track do you have on repeat at the moment?
Okay, so I am more of like I like hip hop. I really do. Like I like J. Cole, I like Wayne. But I really like kind of easy listening. So like I'm a big fan of like Giveon, Sir, Tom Mish, those guys. So that's just kind of like, you'll have to look them up. I mean, they're really like, it's kind of like it's really like easy listening, kind of like get you mellow and kind of like I really like that stuff.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Well, so that's what you're gonna be listening to before the fight, just to put your mind somewhere else.
Probably this week I'll be listening to that, but then like day of, it's definitely going to be like Wayne, J. Cole, probably Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, stuff like that. Yeah.
Get into kill mode.
Yes.
Well, Sam Hughes opening the UFC card on UFC Fight Pass, probably for us at least, on April 8th, Saturday, April 8th, UFC 287 Miami. Thank you for stopping by again. Always nice catching up with you. Good luck.
Nick, thank you so much.